noon baseline and advocacy. And this time, marinig na natin ano na nga ba ang nangyari. And bigatin po yung ating panel. So let me introduce them one by one. So, with us today is our Dr. Camille Almodiente Mascardo. She's from Mandaluyong. She's been a public health advocate since 2018. And she currently serves as Mandaluyong City's Adolescent Health and Development Program Medical Coordinator, leading youth-centered health education and service innovations. She also heads the Makabayan Health Center, balancing clinical duties with advancing community health. Dr. Mascardo helped establish the city's Population and Development Office and strengthen its service delivery network, ensuring coordinated, responsive care. Her leadership extends to key initiatives on HPV immunization, maternal and child health, nutrition and mental health, reflecting her strong commitment to improving adolescent well-being and building healthier communities in Mandaluyong. Thank you for coming today, Doc.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Yan. Also, we have from Quezon City, Mr. Brian Cesar Asiatico. Nako, madami po ang ano nito. Juris Doctor Graduate, Licensed Psychometrician, Professional Teacher, Environmental Planner, with a master's degree in Government Management. Hindi, ano? With nearly 2 decades of experience in local governance, he has served both the legislative and executive branches of the Quezon City government and now serves as the Supervising Administrative Officer at the Quezon City Health Department. So Brian has helped craft landmark ordinances on adolescent health, mental health, and gender equity. A steadfast advocate for ethical and inclusive governance, he believes that truly healthy cities are built on systems that listen, include, and empower communities. Welcome to the panel, Mr. Brian.
Welcome po, ma'am. Salamat.
Next, we are honored to introduce Mr. Mark Ernest Ferrer, a dedicated public health nurse with over 14 years of service at the Pasig City Health Department. His expertise spans family planning, adolescent health, disease prevention, and emergency response. From 2011 to 2019, he was part of the community health education team, and during the pandemic, he led Pasig's COVID-19 OPSEN, managing hotlines and ambulance dispatch while earning certification as an international emergency dispatcher. Now serving as Nurse 4 and Mental Health Nurse Supervisor, he also leads adolescent and leprosy programs, trains on gender sensitivity, and actively advances FP-AYSRH with TCI. Magandang hapon, Mr. Mark.
Magandang hapon po.
And last but not the least, we welcome Ms. Gina Ramiscal. She's a dedicated public health leader and nurse 3 at the Tacurong City Health Office. Siya po yung pinakamalayo ang nilakbay among our panelists. So beginning her career in 1993 in the private sector, she transitioned to government service in 2008, where she has since become a driving force in maternal, child, and reproductive health. She has strengthened Tacurong's family planning and adolescent health programs, co-led the certification of 24 barangay facilities, and advanced immunization and FHSIS initiatives. Today, as City Coordinator for Family Planning, she continues to champion quality, accessible services for women, youth, and families across Tacurong City. Maraming salamat sa pagpunta, Ms. Gina.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Doc.
Ayan po. So, makikita po natin today na each of the city has unique challenges, no? When we talk of AYSRH. And yet together, pag binuo po natin yung mga good practices nila, makukuha natin yung complete approach, no? From compassion to policy, from systems to speed. So, pakinggan na natin sila. No, we'll begin with exploring ano ba yung mga ginawa ng Mandaluyong City. Kasi, etong city na to, they recognized a gap that many cities could have overlooked. And with that, na-prevent po nila yung kanilang teenage pregnancies. Mamaya ipapakita po na itong, or nakita nyo siguro sa labas, na yung kanilang adolescent birth rate ay much lower than the national average. Kasi po yung national average ay 24 per 1,000, no? Young girls. Pero ito sa kanila, 19 yung umpisa nila, no? When they entered doon sa ating program. And in 2024, 13 na lang per 1,000. So, di ba? Anong meron sa kanila? So, pakinggan natin, no? How did Mandaluyong do this? Ano ba yung mga challenges, no, Doc, na nakita nyo, and how did you address this?
Good afternoon again. So, thank you, Doc Dory. So, our city have adolescents also that are vulnerable. They have layered vulnerabilities, such as problems in the family, stigma in seeking help, and most of the time migration, palipat-lipat, or most of the time there's no time to go to seek help. So yun. So we reframed the adolescent pregnancy in a way that it's not a moral issue only, but also a public concern that we should be more compassionate about, that we should also have a system that works together and be supportive to them. So our core approach here is one of TCI's major practices, which is community group engagement. So hindi lang kami sa adolescents nag-focus, which is dati ginagawa na rin namin sa Mandaluyong, but also we focus among the people who surrounds the adolescent, the parents, the teachers, and the barangay health officials or barangay workers po. Yeah. Thank you.
Yan, mukhang maganda yung binanggit nyo. Nagbago, no? Nag-shift ng mindset. Di ba? Yun yung umpisa. And it started with the health workers. And mukhang nahawa nyo ang community. Di ba? Kasi you were able to engage them. Ano, Doktora, yung mga examples, very specific examples ng community engagement that really worked, no? Best in dealing with our adolescent pregnancies?
Meron kaming two major activities that that can be highlighted all throughout. Una, yung Healthy Young Ones. It is usually done in the community, but over the past years, we have done this program under the DOH in partnership with the school's divisions office. So they are very open to conducting the training on Healthy Young Ones to reach out to our young adults. Pangalawa is yung aming Adolescent Congress. I know in other cities they do this as well, but we do this year in, year out in our city where we have booths and lectures to help enhance their life skills and tackle their common issues and concerns po. So this year, medyo ginawa namin siya ng twist. It's not for all adolescents per se, but it's for all the adolescent mothers in Mandaluyong. We call it the Teenage Buntis Quiz Bee. So here, we did not only focus among adolescents, but among our adolescent mothers who needs care and focus. So here we taught them about family planning, STI or HIV prevention, and maternal child and neonatal care po.
Yan, thank you, Doktora. So ang na-pick up ko na bago doon, it's really working with the schools, no? Kasi before yung healthy young ones, diretso lang, no? Habang naghihintay sila. 'Di ba? So, hindi naman sila pumupunta. So, hinanap nyo. So, yun po yung maganda doon sa ginawa ng Mandaluyong. And siguro madaling gawin, no? Kasi city, malalapit lang yung lugar. How about kung malalayo, no? Dispersed yung ating populations, katulad ng sa Tacorong. Paano nyo ginawa such that ma-maintain nyo pa rin yung services and yung quality service at that? Ma'am Gina, can you share your experience po sa Tacorong City?
Okay, so good afternoon, Doc. Thank you, everyone. Totoo, Doc, yung una-una kasi, wala ang aming facility, hindi yan certified. Oo, hindi yan certified. So, anong ginawa namin? With the help of the TCI and the DOH representative, we initiated the certification of these 24 barangay health stations. And lahat-lahat yun, ginawa namin yung mga requirements, sinunod namin para lang ma-certify yung mga barangay health stations namin. So ngayon, Doc, yung aming 24 barangay health stations ay na-certify na yan. And this certification helps us to also build trust among the adolescents. Kasi pag walang trust yun, hindi yun magpunta yung mga adolescents sa inyo. So, yun ginawa namin. At saka, ngayon, alam na ng mga adolescent, saan sila magpunta, anong services available, and mayroon silang safe na, tawag safe space. And then, we also, Doc, prioritize namin yung capacity building ng aming mga health workers para alam nila kung paano mag-respond sa unique needs of this adolescent. Kasi yung adolescents, mahirap yan, hindi yan sila na madali lang kausapin. And next, we also capacitate our barangay health workers. Kasi sila yung unang makita ng mga adolescents. So, kung hindi nila alam kung paano mag-respond sa adolescents, so mahihiya yan. Oo, kasi sabi niya, baka ma-criticize sila, ma-discriminate sila. So, yun. Hindi yan sila. Kaya yun, nag-focus kami doon na lahat ng mga health workers ay ma-capacitate. And then we also have the adolescent service activities. So dito, nag-focus kami sa mga adolescents. So, kagaya na, for example, naganda kami ng Safe Motherhood Program activities, which directly focus on the couples, adolescent couples. And then, dito, matulungan namin sila kung mag-decide kung anong family planning ang kanilang gagamitin. And also, nagpartner kami ng POPCOM officer. Ano ginawa namin dito? Naglibot kami sa lahat-lahat na mga barangay health stations para ma-answer namin kung ano yung mga adolescent issues. And we also promoted responsible parenthood and improve their health-seeking behavior.
Yan. So marami kayong ginawa. Just for a better appreciation, ilan po ba lahat ng barangays nyo?
In Tacorong, we have 20 barangays, but we have 24 barangay health stations kasi yung iba malalaki na barangay. Kaya ginawa namin 2 barangay health stations.
Okay,
Opo.
so in each barangay, tapos meron pa na beyond, yung hindi siya 1:1 lang for bigger barangays.
Yes po, Doc. Yun ang ginawa namin.
Yes.
Para yung lahat na aming mga tao doon, masiserve namin ng gusto.
So, yung access, doon
Yes.
sa services, and you ensure training
Yes.
doon sa inyong health workers.
Opo.
So, beyond doon sa training, meron pang facilities mismo na na-establish doon sa Tacloban.
Yes po.
Sa loob po lang yan ng ilang taon po. May 1 year ba yan?
Actually, Doc, nung pagdating ng TCI, so nag-start na talaga kami kasi alam namin na ito makatulong sa amin. Kasi noon, Doc, noon nang wala pa yung TCI, yung aming mga adolescents, nakamix yan sa aming mga,
Sa
mga
regular
patient.
na RHU.
So kung nakamix yan sila, ano pang ini-expect natin? Siyempre, hindi yan sila magsabi ng totoo. Hindi yan sila magsabi ng problem nila, di ba?
Yes.
Oo, kasi mahihiya man yan sila. Imagine mo kung may problema ka, magsabi ka, nag-iyak ka doon sa labas. Pagkatapos, paglabas mo, maraming tao nakatingin sa'yo, di ba?
Oo.
Ayun.
So, yun. So, nainganyo sila because of that.
Apo.
No?
Apo.
Ito naman po, thank you no, for sharing. So, meron kayong tao, meron din kayong facility, meron din ang Pasig niyan. Pero, ang naging problema naman sa Pasig, mukhang kanya-kanya, ano? They're working in silos.
Yes po.
So, paanong ginawa nyo doon, Mark, para ma-break yung silos na yan at saka yung mindset na akin to, akin yan, sa'yo yan?
At first po, we apply po yung bridging leadership po. Yung owning the problem, co-owning the solution, and co-creation of boundaries po. Yun po. Then, nag-identify po kami ng mga issues. And mga issues na kung saan po, yung mga offices and departments po na concerned dun sa mga issues na yon ay hindi lang po basta sila lang po yung nakakaalam ng mga datos. Then, ini-eliminate din po namin yung kung may mga adolescent po na may problema, na ire-retell po nila yung kanilang traumatic experience from agency to agency na mapupunta nila hanggang mawala na po sila sa proseso and mapabayaan na po yung kanilang mga cases po. Yun po.
So, maganda yan, no? So, you decided to work together para sa ikabubuti ng ating adolescent. Hindi siya ipapasa-pasa kung saan.
Yes po.
Yes. So, you were able to build trust siguro, no? During the process?
Yes po.
Oo. So, ano pa yung ginawa niyo para ma-build yung trust nila?
Yung ginawa po namin sa Pasig, we started po with collaborating with Sangguniang Kabataan and other youth organizations under po nila. Then we come up with communication planning kung saan po sila po mismo yung nag-create and nag-design ng information dissemination na kung saan po maiintindihan po ng mga adolescent yung kanilang, kasi since adolescent din naman po sila, maintindihan po nila yung ng kapwa nila adolescent, yung kanilang design na information dissemination about adolescent sexual reproductive health and other issues po na i-ano po ulit sa information dissemination.
Wow. So, magandang practice yan, no? Hearing from them and letting them work with you, no? As partners. Tapos sila na rin yung nagde-design, sila na rin yung gumagawa, no? Para ma-disseminate yung proper information on AYSRH.
Yes.
And so parang naging aktibo as a stakeholder yung ating mga youth. Tama ba?
Yes po. Actually po, may mga projects po ang mga SK regarding po sa ASYRH po. ASRH po. Merong ini-invite po nila kami, mga selected programs po na connected po sa adolescent health like mental health, substance abuse, HIV and STI offices po namin. Kung saan po nagko-conduct po kami ng health education po by groups or by small groups to big groups po sa kanilang mga community.
Wow. Ito ba'y bago sa inyo? Kasi when we started noon sa Mandaluyong, parang yun yung goal na mas maging aktibo at mas focused ang mga project ng youth leaders natin sa Mandaluyong. So ito bang mga sinasabi mo ay mga bago na nga ito na ginagawa nila?
Yung collaboration po with...
Yes.
Nag-start po kami nung 2023 kung saan po kaka-elect lang po ng aming mga SK officials. Nag-conduct po kami ng isang activity po where to introduce po yung mga health program sa kanila para makaisip po sila ng projects regarding adolescent health po. And other health programs po na magbe-benefit po yung mga kabataan sa Pasig.
Yun. So wala na yung Zumba lang,
Ayun
basketball
po.
lang.
Ayun po, yun nga po yung idiniin namin during sa procurement process po nung activity namin na hindi lang po dapat regarding sa sports, Zumba, yan sabi nyo nga po sa Zumba, dapat po more on health education din po. Ang maging project po ng sangguniang kabataan and other, pati na rin po barangay sa community.
Okay, thank you, Mark. So nakita natin may programs, no, may initiatives ang bawat city. At ito naman sa Quezon City, naisip nila hindi lang dapat may programs. Dapat kung may initiatives tayo, i-sustain natin 'yan. And gumawa po sila ng policy, no? Ano ba, Sir Brian, ang nag-udyok sa inyo para gumawa ng policy?
Siguro ma'am, ang number one na ipinagmamayabang naman lawi namin is that Quezon City is a trailblazer when it comes to institutionalization of several policies. Even before the National Reproductive Health Law was implemented, Quezon City has it already.
Wow.
So marami na rin tayong mga bagong mga polisiya. Pero nung nakita natin na medyo may mga problema tayo, sabi nga natin, bagamat marami sa amin, siguro ang aming mga adolescent pregnancies ay mas mababa sa national rates, ay pinili pa rin namin makibahagi sa TCI at pinili pa rin ng Quezon City na mag-produce ng isang institutionalized adolescent pregnancy prevention ordinance because nakita natin na for adolescent pregnancy, one is too many. Kahit na isang adolescent lamang yan na mabuntis ng hindi nakapagpe-prepara or hindi handa ang kanyang katawan, ay that is too many already. Sa Quezon City, hindi ganun ang sitwasyon. Medyo mataas-taas din na nagsimula kami with TCI. Pero ang pinakamahalaga siguro dito ay nakita natin na dapat holistic. Dapat kainin natin yung buong sistema na pwedeng ipasok doon sa ordinansa at wala dapat leader na pwedeng sabihin na hindi niya i-implement ito dahil may batas na sinasandalan yung prevention ng adolescent pregnancy. So sa amin, sinabi namin na kailangan lahat ng kabataan involved. Sinabi namin na lahat, hindi lamang yung mga babaeng nabubuntis ang involved na bata, kundi ang kanilang magulang at ang mga kalalakihan. Kasi yun yung minsan na miss out yung participation of the male doon sa male adolescents doon sa whole situation. Another is the creation of the Adolescent Pregnancy Prevention Council. So mayroon tayong konseho na mga leaders na medyo na sila ang tumitingin pagdating sa polisiya, wherein the TCI helped us because of the CLT, yung ating training ng mga community leaders din, syempre the city leaders team natin. So naging malaking bahagi ang TCI dito sa paghinang pa at noong organization. Kaya kasama natin dito ngayon, even yung aming lead, ang ating CHO at ang sa Quezon City Health Department at even yung ating lead convener. Kasi tinignan namin, actually, ang maganda siguro sa Quezon City, hindi niya tinitignan na health issue lamang yung issue ng adolescent pregnancy. It is a holistic nga, sabi ko nga. Kaya nga ang lead team namin dito, ang secretariat noong council ay hindi health department, kung hindi ang Quezon City Youth Development Office. Kasi mas maganda na sa kanila magsimula mula sa programa ng mga kabataan, magkaboses mismo yung mga kabataan rather than sa mga matatanda. Sorry Sorry.
Ouch.
Sorry, ouch ng konti na rin. Pero yun nga, hindi pa pwedeng hindi sila pakinggan.
Yes.
Hindi pa pwedeng hindi sila maging bahagi. Ito yung tinitignan ng ordinansa na kailangan dapat kabahagi sila sa pagbibigay ng boses. Yes, you have institutionalized it, pero kapag hindi mo ginawa na kabahagi sila nito, ay magiging baliwala lahat ng interventions sa kanila.
Yes, that's true. I agree, no? And nandoon na rin lang tayo sa policy implementation. Paano na-i-ensure ng Quezon City na nai-implement nga yan? Ang laki-laki ng Quezon City.
Correct. We
How
have
do you do
142
that?
barangays. We have around 3 million population. We have more than 3 million population. So medyo malaki-laki talaga si Quezon City. Pero with the help of our health department, yun nga sinabi nga natin, hindi lang health department kasi yung nag-i-implement. We have other services offered by the various agencies. Pero sa health department alone, we have 59 health centers na certified as adolescent facilities. So soon, yung ating mga teen centers, teen health quarters natin ay magiging level 3 pa din. So again, with the help of DOH and other organizations, private and public organizations, mga agencies, tinatry natin yung best natin. At doon naman namin siguro naisitaas din at ilabas yung pangalan din ng aming mayor, si Mayor Joy Belmonte, na yung number 1 support niya doon sa programa. Sabi ko nga, sa kanya mismo nang galing na hindi siya papayag na may kabataan pa na nabubuntis. Hanggat pa pwede natin ma-save, hanggat pa pwede natin mapigilan yung pagbubuntis ng mga kabataan. Sa kanya lagi niya sinasabi yan sa amin, one too many. Kaya nga, in-implement din namin yung Quezon City BRO or yung Birth Registration Ordinance, one of the ordinances, na kung saan it is a data-driven birth registration ordinance na kung nakikita natin kung sino-sino ba on the spot, kung sino-sino ba mula sa pribado at sa pampublikong mga hospital or mga clinics ang nairirehistro na mga kabataan na maagang nagbubuntis. So marami pang ordinansa, even the mental health ordinance ay kabarte nito ng mga pinapa-institutionalize sa atin ng ating mayor.
Thank you, no? And from that big city, mag-jump tayo sa Tacorong. How do you ensure na talagang nai-implement din yung inyong programa uniformly, na may quality talaga? Miss Gina?
Okay, Doc. So, to ensure that the quality was not sacrificed, no, we implemented the monthly visit and coaching all across 24 barangay health stations so that we directly know or kung ano problema nila and ma-answer namin kaagad. So, for example, we identified the barangay that needs demand generation para yung yung mga problem hindi madidelay or ma-address kaagad. Kagaya ngayon, mayroon tayong tinatawag na Purok Kalusugan, Doc. So monthly, ina-assess kami ng aming DOH representative. Tinitingnan namin doon kung anong barangay or puruks ang dapat naming tulungan. Makita mo doon kung anong purok ang maraming teenage pregnancy, sino yung purok na mababa yung demand satisfied. So doon talaga kami nagpo-focus. And then next is we conduct regular data quality check. This is very important in data accuracy because our city had both local and migrant populations. So realigning with the DOH indicator, matatrack namin yung progress ng aming ginagawa. And kung hindi siya swak or hindi pa mag-change kami ng aming intervention. And also, finally, nagpapasalamat po kami sa aming sa Ma'am Julie and Sir Troy sa tulong. Oo. Kasi magagaling yun sila, Doc, eh. Oo. Tinutulungan kami, technical assistance. So, sabi ko, Sir Troy, sana next year, andito ka pa rin sa amin.
Ala! Di ka na uuwi.
Oo. Para matulungan kami. And rest assured ngang lahat na technical assistance and best practices na naturo sa amin ay gagawin namin o i-practice namin sa aming adolescent health services.
Yan, thank you. So, si Troy, baka nagtataka sila, sino ba yan? Si Troy. Siya po ay kasama sa ating
TCI. Yes
staff
po.
na assigned sa kanila.
Sa amin po.
So, na-mention nila, grabe, no? Tinitignan nila hanggang purok level. So, makita na gusto nilang mag-respond sa needs ng community as well as sa needs ng service providers. At kaya meron silang regular coaching, mentoring, at saka data analysis, which are very important. So, itong ating challenge sa adolescent pregnancies, kailangan din natin strike yung balance between taking care of the mothers, yung social protection sa kanila, but at the same time, also preventing subsequent pregnancies kasi ayaw nating mabuntis sila agad ulit, habang sila ay adolescents pa. Sa Mandaluyong ba, Doc Camille, anong ginagawa nyo para ma-prevent pa yung mga repeat pregnancies nila?
Challenging nga talaga. Very appropriate sa the challenge initiative. But finding the right balance is really the key. One of our key messages sa mga kabataan is they still have a choice. If you got pregnant, you still have a choice. You still have a future. So one of the things that we also improve among our trained health personnel and dun nga sa ating community group engagement natin is to train them to be more compassionate with the young generation or the young adults. To train them to be more non-judgmental and create a more safe space for them to make informed decisions na makagawa sila ng tamang decision in the future po. So with this, moving on, we want to continue doing activities that are more focused among our adolescent mothers, especially the Teenage Buntis Quiz Bee. But among that, yung continuous health services at saka gaya na nga rin nung sabi dun sa Pasig, holistic ito. So yung iba rin mga services, gusto namin continuously maibigay, hindi lang po sa health.
Yun. So, talagang tutok doon sa mga nandyan na, and quality services yung ating gustong gawin, para ma-prevent talaga yung succeeding pregnancies. And doon sa Pasig, nasabi na kanina, they're no longer working in silos. And narinig namin, maganda rin yung nangyayari sa inyong ISDN. And this is considered a rights-based and needs-based approach. Pwede mo bang mas maipaliwanag yan, Mark, sa atin?
Ayun po. Sa needs-based po, ito po, yung pang-araw-araw po na kinaharap nag-base po kami doon sa pang-araw-araw na kinaharap po ng mga adolescent. In reality po, doon po kami nag-base po sa needs-based. And para malaman din po nila na yung mga programa po na available po sa Pasig is nagre-respond po sa mga pangangailangan nila based po doon sa mga kinaharap nila sa pang-araw-araw and yung mga real issues po nila. Yun po yung sa needs-based po. Sa rights-based naman po, dito naman po, nakasandal po kami sa mga national policies po. Kung saan po, makakapagbigay po kami ng services na kung saan po, napoprotektahan po yung confidentiality and privacy. Then, nabibigay po yung services na without judgment and discrimination sa aming mga adolescent na pumupunta po sa aming mga health centers po.
And paano ito natatranslate sa, di ba may governance side yung ISDN? Ano ba yung particular halimbawa ng ginagawa ng ISDN to show na merong functional governance body as an ISDN?
Yung sa governance, ang nga po, di ba, ang Pasig po is kinikilala po ngayon for good governance.
Yes.
Yan. Hindi lang po basta kami sa pinapakita sa good governance dito yung financial transparency and efficiency po. Pinapakita rin po dito yung sa pamagitan po nun, yung aming mga malalaman po ng mga kabataan or mga adolescents na meron pong tangible programs po na available po sa Pasig na kung saan pag humingi po sila ng tulong is matutulungan po sila na hindi na po sila matatakot na pumunta sa health center na dati na pong nangyayari yung stigma nga po ng pagpunta sa health center. Yun po.
And hindi lang isang department ito, no? Hindi lang health.
Yes po, marami pa po. Yung nabuo po naming team sa AMPO, marami po kaming department na kasama, hindi lang po sa health, yung CSWD, Local Youth Development, Sangguniang Kabataan po, ayan po, kasama po namin yan sa tawag doon, para nagkama po kami doon sa ganung strategy po, para makabuo po kami nung tama at yung talagang kailangan po na nakapaloob po doon sa ISDN.
Okay, so thank you very much. Nakita po natin, no? From Mandaluyong, we have compassion and change of mindset para ma-deliver po yung ating responsive approaches. And then we also saw yung speed, kung paano ginagawa doon sa Takurong, no? And scale that they do para ma-reach agad lahat, no? At one time. And then nakita natin from Quezon City, dapat i-sustain to, no? With the policies that should be issued. And of course, we should collaborate, no? When we do this. Kasi hindi ito problema ng isang tao, but it should be joint venture, no? Whole of governance nga sinasabi natin para ma-solve ang ating problem sa adolescent pregnancy. So, pasalamatan po natin sila na ating mga panelists. Meron po ba tayong open forum? Ay, wala na. So, wala na po daw open forum. Kasi wala namang open forum. Any messages from anyone?
Siguro,
Yes.
siguro yun lang from the point of view of Quezon City lang rin na sana yung learning, the TCI, bagamat alam namin na kaparti kami ng mga graduate ngayon at sigurado na ito, bagamat mamaya pa yung awarding ng actual graduation. Pero ang aming pasasalamat sa TCI because of the fact na the whole 2 years that we're together with TCI, bagamat meron pa tayo, we are still under the pandemic then, ay
Yes,
na-support yung programa to the point that the Quezon City was empowered, particularly yung ating mga city leaders, was trained on how we could improve and how we could come up with actual programs in Quezon City. And I hope, yun nga, sana wag bibitiw. Sana wag bibitiw. Maraming salamat sa mga from Doc Alphonse to Ace and to the people who have helped Quezon City and the whole TCI team. Maraming salamat from Quezon City.
Yes, thank you, Quezon City, through Sir Brian. Doc Camille, you have anything to say? Or anyone? Sige, Doc.
I'd like to take this chance na rin po para mapasalamatan nga po ang The Challenge Initiative. You have encouraged our city to strive better. So if we were, I know we were doing our best before we have entered this agreement, but after this, graduating from this, we now know na we can do better. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. And Gina?
Okay, so nagpapasalamat po kami ng malaki sa TCI kasi marami talaga yung ay matulong niya sa amin. Rest assured, ang aming butihing mayor, very supportive mayor, andyan lang po.
Yes.
Mahal niya po yung TCI. Kasi sabi niya, yes,
That's really good.
yes, pinagmalaki namin yan kasi sabi niya, yung TCI talaga yung nagpabago sa kanya, yung pananaw ni Ma'am. Oo, so mamaya sa speech ni Ma'am, malaman nyo kung ano yung ano na. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Gina and Mark.
Siguro magpapasalamat din po kami sa The Challenge Initiative. Kasi po nung nag-start po kami, kala namin kami lang po hanggang matapos po yung namin sa TCI. Kasi po nag-start po kami with family planning, safe motherhood, and adolescent health lang po. Then with Office of City Councilor Consi Cory Raimundo po. Yun po yung start talaga. Then habang nagkakaroon po kami ng mga meetings, kada meeting po nadadagdagan po kami ng kasama. Yung na-identify po namin yung mga other programs and offices po na dapat po involved sa adolescent health. Hindi lang po kami nag-stop sa health. Pati po nakasama rin po namin ng PNP, barangay, mga barangay chairmans po, or yung ABC po, Association of Barangay Chairmans po. Then, to come up po, yung ginawa po naming ISDN, identify po namin yung real problems po ng adolescent from ground hanggang sa pinakataas po na ng aming city government, which is yung hanggang sa paggawa na po ng ordinances po. We try to make ordinance for adolescent, which is yung issues po ng teenage pregnancy and establishment of teen centers po. We try po, yun nga po, kahit hindi po maganda yung kinalabasan, pero may option pa rin po kami na pwede pa po naming magkaroon po kami ng mandate, ng policy regarding adolescent health.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. So, let's remember, no, lahat ng senior nila actually, pwede rin nating pagsama-samahin sa ating mga syudad for, di ba, parang mas maximum yung effect talaga and we'll be able to improve pa yung ating current situation. So I'd like to close. Just remember that adolescents are not problems to be solved. They are rights holders, partners, and co-creators of a better future. With that, thank you very much for listening. Thank you.